Welcome to the 5th Annual Health Summit at Paralyzed Veterans of America in Jacksonville, Florida. We're so happy that we're able to do this once again. Tremendous turnout, almost 800 attendees this year. Given the bad weather and the travel restrictions, everyone's still making an effort to show up and learning from each other.
When I was first elected president, what I wanted to do is really improve the relationship we had with the VA. And I think we did just that. I know that I think what made a big difference is when a couple of months ago, we brought the secretary out to San Diego for a tour of the Spinal Cord Injury Center, where our deputy and myself went through rehab. I went through there in 1991, 24 years ago, and I think you went through about 10 or 11 years ago. And you know, the secretary said he knew about specialized care from what he read in the books. But he said, until you hold the hand of a veteran who's been in a Clinitron bed for 6 months, you really don't get it. And because of that relationship, we were able to put on an event like this. It's a one-of-a-kind event. The collaboration between the VA and the PVA was awesome. It was so nice to see the Undersecretary of Health lift that travel restriction so you all could be here.
You all are the star of the show. All of you attendees who do the hard work in your respective roles in the lives of persons with disabilities, particularly spinal cord dysfunction. The summit here is intended to provide a forum for a few things, as I said in the video, to talk about best practices. One of the things we do when we do our site visits around the country is, one of the ways we hope that we get used by you is to take our understanding of what's happening in other centers. And it may not apply. You know, there's no one way to do things right, but sometimes there are things that somebody has figured out that may be worth exploring in those other centers. So this is yet another forum for doing that and exchanging the various ideas and ways that you can make your jobs a lot easier. We're going to see a lot of the technology and things like that. But I think it's also an opportunity for you to renew your passion for what you do. This unique, one-of-a-kind event brings spinal cord injury professionals from around the country. It brings those who are involved in spinal cord disease from around the country, and they all convene to talk about best practices, talk about all the great things they're doing. And what it does, it promotes a sort of community of spinal cord injury and disease professionals who can learn from each other.
So this morning I gave a little tease about what my agenda is anyways for this upcoming year at PVA and how we're going to meet a new population's needs. That is veterans with brain injuries. Several years ago, well, 2007, Curtis Spivey, an Army soldier, checked into the VA in San Diego, and he had a traumatic brain injury, spinal cord injury, and his legs were pretty bad after an IED. And unfortunately, he died in our care. And the medical staff actually told us that in fact, they were not ready or prepared to handle someone who was that complicated, that complex, especially when it comes to brain injuries. So I vowed that I would never let that happen again, and not under my watch. So I did a little research and found that at a minimum, 60% of veterans with spinal cord injuries also have traumatic brain injuries. And you know what? It never comes up. When I was checking into the hospital, nobody ever talked to me about brain injuries. And those brain injuries, not only do they need to be healed, but brain injuries also have a lot to do with the way a veteran heals. And it can cause a lot of delays in the whole rehabilitation process.
I'm very excited to see the number of the exhibitor we have this year. We believe we double the number of the exhibitor from previous year to this year. So it just tell you that word by mouth how successful we're putting on the expo. Clinicians love to see new technologies, finding out new drugs, new technology who can assist and deliver therapies.
I think that assistive technology, I like to refer to it as disruptive technology, because what it does, it changes expectations, it disrupts the paradigm, it takes the disability and turns it around by giving new function where function was lost. Something as simple as a wheelchair with power assist features means you can push longer, means you can negotiate through tough terrain. We hear about things even bigger like the exoskeleton devices that allow an individual to stand up where that might be appropriate for that person. All kinds of things that mitigate nerve pain, all the things that represent incremental progress, these devices. It's great because we get to have these devices in front of the therapists and the nurses who are going to consider whether this is a good solution for the patients that they're going to encounter. And that's why it's important to have these events where we have the providers and those who prescribe the devices in the same space as the devices, because they learn more.
We work a lot with the Paralyzed Veterans of America, helping to ensure that their members have access to these devices so that as they continue to overcome their paralysis, they have options to get them back and doing their daily tasks.
Today's presentation is entitled Choice or Chance, an examination into how Veterans Choice has changed perspectives on spinal cord injury and disease care for veterans.
Well, we're going to talk about the Veterans Choice Act. One of the things that Paralyzed Veterans of America does, besides health policy and besides benefit, is we have a legislative agenda. And so we get involved in any legislation or proposed bills that are intended to impact care in some way. And we'll talk about the Veterans Choice Act as an aspect of care in many of the places where you work.
Just want to touch a little bit about utilization review. I practice in both VA and non-VA, and truly the utilization review concept is how many patients you can put in that bed when it's still warm. That's the Kaiser Permanente model. That's the thesis I have done in my grad degree. And when you look at the length of stay in the VA, some might say it's too long, some might say it's unnecessary, some might say it's awesome that we can keep the patient and make him prepare and ready and address all issues before we send him home. So it's dependent on where you come from and what your concept about utilization review. But as clinicians, I certainly don't want to deal with the insurance business. I think I want to spend my energy and focus on the quality of care I can provide to that individual.
This is my third time here, and I'm here. I enjoy the product room because I love to see what new products are out and try them out, and then I can share them with all the other people that are spinal cord injured.
Hi, I'm Janice Gramick. I'm from Spring Hill, Florida. This is my fourth time to be here, and I'm here to learn the most and newest innovations to take care of our spinal cord patients, most of all, our veterans. Thank you.